Our presentation, our topic is speculative questions.
Okay, before we begin exploring this topic, we will first define what a speculative question is. And this is a question whose nature defies a definitive answer, either because it assumes a false reality or because it requires inaccessible information. The first perspective we're going to explore is that speculative questions do enhance our knowledge.
Our first knowledge question is, does the consideration of speculative questions enhance our knowledge? In order to answer this question, we will be evaluating several areas of knowledge. The first area of knowledge that we're going to consider is mathematics. According to the Journal of Mathematics and Statistics, negative and complex numbers were regarded as absurd or useless before the 15th century. Now complex numbers are used in many fields, such as electrical engineering, quantum mechanics, and optics. This shows how questioning our assumptions and speculating has led to advances in mathematical fields.
Speculative questions are also used in the human sciences, and more specifically economics. We can see these in economic models where economists analyze specific factors within a real or hypothetical economy, and they can't do this without asking those questions which really can't be answered. And so these economic models help make predictions about future economic patterns, and then these predictions then help policymakers decide what actions to take when they're faced with economic challenges.
Another area of knowledge within the field of human sciences where we see speculation used is philosophy. The study of philosophy uses speculation to explain the human condition and to understand ourselves and the world around us better. And we use speculation to learn how to analyze information, and some examples of speculative questions that do this are, what is the human condition? And
so kind of going off of this and getting into the questions that Liza was talking about, this is very prevalent in religion. You couldn't have a religion without speculative questions. Because there's a God, which is inaccessible information that you can't know, so people rely on blind faith for this. Religion is based off the three questions: what is the human condition, where are we going, and how do we get there? These are all speculative questions that can explain an entire religion. And religion is helpful in society because it helps facilitate people and gives them morals and ethics to follow. And most religions hold the values of love, acceptance, and forgiveness. Religion also helps people have a purpose in life, which can lead you to a happier life.
And this is an example of how we see speculation being beneficial to humans and to our quality of life. And another example of how speculation can be beneficial is in the arts, particularly through literature. People enjoy speculation and find it entertaining. And speculation can also be used to provide a commentary on today's society, and we see this in novels like The Handmaid's Tale and 1984, where Margaret Atwood actually calls her genre of fiction speculative fiction.
Okay, our last area of knowledge is history. So in historical knowledge, there are frequently gaps in our information, so we have to use speculation to fill these gaps, and if we never did this, we wouldn't be able to advance in our analysis of what happened in the past. And history is very valuable these conclusions that we draw are very valuable in understanding society today. Okay, and so now we're going to explore our second perspective, which is that speculative questions can be detrimental.
And our knowledge question for this perspective is, to what extent do speculative questions lead to negative consequences? So the first way that we are going to explore in how speculative questions can be harmful is through self-destruction. So many believe that the more we learn, the more ability we have to destroy ourselves, and we can see this through historical examples, like the development of weapons, which has led to greater mass destruction. And some people believe that ignorance is bliss, and that it is better to remain unaware of things that may cause stress and otherwise lead to self-destruction. It's not only in the development of weapons to destroy ourselves that speculation can lead to self-destruction, but in the contemplation of these questions that we talked about earlier in our presentation, this can become obsessive and lead to depressive and suicidal tendencies.
Okay, our second contention is that that speculative questions can cause controversy. So here we're going to kind of go back on what we said earlier about religion, and now religion can be seen as a bad thing because we're asking these speculative questions. And then because there's controversy in these answers between different religions or even different sects of a religion, there can be a lot of conflict. And this conflict leads to killing people, just as we talked about earlier with self-destructive tendencies. Okay, so in conclusion, speculative questions may enhance your areas of knowledge, but it also leads to adverse consequences.
So what we decided is that whether you think that speculative questions are good or a positive thing kind of depends on your outlook in life. So many believe that we are here on earth to be happy, and that would kind of suggest that speculation isn't a great thing, because we've seen how it can lead to these depressive and suicidal tendencies, and how a lot of times having more knowledge doesn't make the wielder of that knowledge happier. But if you believe that we're here on earth to engage, to learn about our environment, and to really explore our own experience and the experience of others, then we've seen through our presentation how speculation can be very beneficial and can teach you a lot about yourself and others and the world around you.
In my own life, I've seen the positive and negative effects of speculation. When I began asking speculative questions about life and these big questions we talked about in philosophy and religion, I became very confused about my purpose and about life in general, and so this was a very negative time in my life. However, I was able to come past some of these challenges and explore the deeper meaning of life, and this helped me grow as a person tremendously.